Hello, running a little late today, but it is 1 John 4:11 today on Thursday. Go ahead and see if you can translate that. Here's my translation. Beloved, if thus God loved us, or if God so loved us, sounds like John 3:16 to me, also we ought one another to love. And I see that I have a slight disjunction that I did not fix. And now it's fixed. So one another to love. So this is conditional, as I'll say in a couple slides here. Vocative. Beloved, if God so loved us, he gave his only begotten Son, whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life, so also ought we to love one another. Like Father, like Son, be perfect as I am perfect, be holy as I am holy, love as I have loved. We are to be like God, believe it or not, as implausible as that may seem. Now, of course, I come from a tradition that would say that if God says this, he must empower it. None of this stinking thinking. I can't love. I'm only human. Well, apparently John thinks differently, and if you believe in inspiration, God does. Okay, so the translation, breaking it down. Beloved, if so God loved us. There, we broke down the translation. Any question? I'm broke down. Also we ought one another to love. Okay, not too hard. Although this is the reciprocal pronoun, as I have on the next slide, this is the hard form today. So let's move on. Grammar. Beloved is a vocative. Beloved. If implies a conditional clause, and this is a first-class condition. It's because it uses a with the indicative. And the first-class condition basically assumes the truth of the if. So this is assuming if it's true that God loved us, and I believe it, is kind of implication here. Now, can you parse agape sen? Sen, we've seen sen often. What is sen? Just looking at these three last letters, I know that this verb is aorist, active, indicative, third singular. This is a movable nu. Throw it away. Epsilon is a very common third person singular active indicative past tense ending. And with the sigma, it's aorist active indicative. That means this is an augment. So we have an aorist active indicative third singular from agapao. And the alpha has been augmented to an eta. Okay. Also we. So this is the if part, the protasis. This is the then part, the apodosis. Okay, we, personal pronoun. Aphailomen, present active indicative, first plural from aphalo, ought. One another is the reciprocal pronoun. Only has three forms. This is the accusative plural form, one of three forms. All of them are plural because one another involves more than one person. Now, agapon, the cousin of Peter Pan, is a little weird. Agapa, it's got all the letters of the present stem, so this is present. But what's going on here? Well, it's a present active infinitive from agapao. Now, what's weird about that is agapa is an alpha. Normally, we would expect the alpha. So the present infinitive ending is normally ain, epsilon iota nu. And so what I would have expected if I was inventing this, is the alpha of the contract verb. The alpha of the contract verb would crash into the ending, and an alpha would crash into the epsilon of ain. With alphas and epsilons, whichever comes first wins. So it would be an alpha, since it came first. It would be crowned long alpha. So the circumflex says, there's been a crash here. Walk away. Nothing to see here. Police line. Step back. So I would have expected it to crash into an alpha. But there's an iota there in ain, right? So I would have expected the iota to come down as a subscript and hang on for dear life. But it doesn't happen. And so at some point in my career with Greek, I've just memorized that this is a alpha contract verb infinitive form, okay? To love. To love, agapon, the undreamable dream. No, okay. Now, see if you can pronounce this. And here's my pronunciation. Agapetoi, hutos, ho, theos, agapesen, hemas, kai, hemes, ophailomen, Allelus, agapon, and I did not correct this. The Greek PDFs that I use for this has trouble with double lambdas, but I don't. It's fixed. So one another. Alleluia agapan. Now let me try to say it at somewhat normal speed. Agape toi, e hutos ho theos agape sen hemas, kai he meso phelamen alleluia agapan. Okay. Well, one more day in this week, and we will do 1 John 4:12, Lord willing, mañana.